Hi everyone, Johnny Matthews here. I see we have a few people already starting to ask some questions. This is the Message Magic General Training. We have people coming online from different companies, so we keep it restricted to just Message Magic questions and just Skype questions, even though you may be using it for a particular company or activity. Those questions that pertain just to that company or activity are not for this call. The questions here should stay completely generic with Message Magic or Skype, okay? Debbie Deerdorf is here helping me, and so she'll be reading questions to me as they come in. So if you have any questions, please start right away typing them in to the question box that comes with your panel there with GoToWebinar. I will also tell you this. We have, and I'll show you right now, we have Dropbox. I'm not sure that you all have it. You may not. Excuse me. But on Dropbox, I apologize. We have an you can see right here, we have a Message Magic Training -John. Okay? And I'm starting to add to that on a regular basis. If you have not been invited to grab that Message Magic Training, then you need to send me your name and email. You can send it on here or on Skype is probably preferable at my Nova West Solutions. Debbie, would you put that in the chat box to them? Nova West Solutions connect with me. Also, if you don't have Dropbox yet and you're going to sign up on it, please use my link so that, because every time somebody signs up on it, I get more space on it under the free version up to either 8 or 10 gig. I don't know. Right now, you start with 2, and I think I have a little over 3 gig on there. What that allows me to do is put more and more information up there for you. And so that does help. There's no cache or anything like that I get. I just get more free space to put stuff up that you can grab. So, Debbie, if you have the link, do you have the put Nova West Solutions in there, and then also please put in there my link if you have it. If not, we'll have to get it out to them after. Okay, do we have any questions that have started already?
Yes, we have one from Ralph. He says, I don't have 2 computers to run 2 separate Skype accounts, so I want to make sure I thoroughly understand the workings of friend requests before I load all my emails up and send them off. If you send out your email request from account 2 and you happen to be in account 1 when a bunch of people accept your request, will those accepted requests be in your account 2 when you return to it?
Okay. A lot of people do not have 2 computers, Ralph, and so that is a common question that they would have. Number 1, if your Skype is on, the one you are sending out messages, then and the other person whom you're sending them to is online with their Skype running, they will receive the message. If they do not have their computer on, they won't receive the message. Let's say they receive it and the next day they send you a message, but you're not online with that account. You will not receive it. But my understanding is you will receive it when you, well, no, I guess you won't. You won't receive it. You have to be online at the same time they are. Now, what some people are doing is they're running 2 Skypes at the same time on their computer. Is that possible to do? Well, obviously it is. Now, what it does, it's all according to what you've got for a computer. If you don't have much RAM, you're going to have a hard time running 2 of them. If you have 1 gig of RAM, you're in trouble from the start because Skype's a memory hog. But if you have 2, it's going to be borderline to run 2 at the same time. If you have 3 or 4 gig of RAM, then you're probably in better shape to do that. But what I do, and I understand you do not have more than 1, and I tell people ideally to run 1 on, one computer and 1 on another. That way you can keep them on. Now, just to go back a little bit, right now I have 3 Skype accounts. I have my Nova West Solutions, which is my general Skype account for communicating with people and you folks and everybody, okay? I don't use that for Message Magic, sending or receiving bulk contacts, okay? I have a second Skype, Johnny.Matthews. On that one, I send add contact requests and receive responses. Now, each of those, one's on my laptop and one's on my desktop, and I never shut them off. In your case, you would need to run them both constantly on your desktop. And so that's predicated by the fact that you have enough RAM to do it. RAM is relatively inexpensive. Last time I looked a week ago or so, it was $59 for the good stuff, and 1 gig for $59 for the good stuff, and 2 gig for $59 or $60 for the cheaper stuff. Will it do the same thing? I don't know, probably. You have, you're saying you have 3.5 gig of RAM, Ralph? Then you should, if that's the case, you should be able to run 2. But you must leave them on in order to receive the messages. When it comes to one of the activities that I know is being done on here with the realtors or stuff like that, basically that should stay right there for 30 days, and you should watch for 30 days. With other types of businesses, people can send out 5,000 every 2 or 3 days and remove anybody that didn't add you, because it's a whole different ball of wax. Okay, how do you run 2? Well, I haven't run 2 in a long time, so it's, I'm not going to try to explain that on here. We'll have to get somebody that is running 2 to do that. There's one way you can do it, is you can go in and you can have another account on your computer. When it opens up, you probably come in as the administrator. Well, you can have a second user and a third user, maybe your wife or your husband or your child or whatever, and they don't use each other's. They have their own user on there. So you can open up more than one user, and you can run one on one user and one on another. I have done that. But there is another way to run 2 on the same user. And I'm not sure exactly how to do that, to be perfectly honest with you, because I haven't done it, because so many people don't have 3.5 gig of RAM, and I don't want them to slow that computer down to a dead stop. So I haven't taught that. Debbie, would you make a note for us to get the instructions for that and get them up on the training in Dropbox? He says, is there a way to know if your friend request was delivered? The only way I know is when they accept you or when they respond to you in a message. The 4 things that a person can do when they get a friend request from you, there's 4 things they can do. 1, they can ignore it. Well, that doesn't tell you anything. 2, they can block you. I don't even know if you get a notice of them blocking you, but you can't send them anything else. 3, they can accept you, in which their status on your computer will change. And when they're online, it'll be green, and when you put the cursor over their name, it'll show up differently. For example, if you look at the screen right now, when I put my cursor over Ken, all right, right here, it says Ken, Speedy Ken 1, online, last activity 5 days ago. That was on this. This is my second Skype. I don't have many on this, only a few people. And so it tells me something. If he was not a contact, it would say there, Ken, Speedy Ken 1, this contact has not shared their details with you, would be there. So you do know that. Another way that you can find out, if you look here, and we need to put this into a Q&A, into the Q&A. But if you go up here and you go to contacts, and then you go down to hide contacts who, and you go over here, haven't shared contact details, then you would not see people on here who hadn't shared the details. And so right now these 4 or 5 people I have on here have all shared their details with me, okay? And so therefore they would stay there. But let's say there was one here that wasn't. I wouldn't see it right now. So that's another way to know who has shared details with you. So I go back here to show hide contacts, and I take that off, and they would come back. We'll be going more into that on a lesson that I'll be doing shortly. So, and if you have this echo sound test service, you can get rid of it. You don't need that. Now let's see what else he said here, Debbie. What did he say next?
So to make sure I am on track, if you send a friend request and that person is not online when the request was sent, that person would not receive the request when they log in.
Half true. If they are logged in and you still are logged in, they'd get it. But if they're not logged in when you send it and then you're not online when they come online, they will not get it. It's a peer-to-peer. I have a little stupid way that I made up to demonstrate it. If you're speeding down the road 10 miles an hour over the speed limit and Johnny Law is down around the corner hiding to get his tax collection and he throws a radar gun at you, the radar gun sends out a beam, bounces off your car, sends it back, tells him how fast you're going, if it's anywhere near correct, and he gives you a $300 ticket because the town needs the money. Well, similar to that, if your car wasn't there and he threw that beam down the road, what would he get back? Nothing. And if there's no gun there, there would be nothing to bounce off your car. It requires that both are there for the transaction to occur. Same thing here. So whenever you're online and he's online, he'll get it. Otherwise, he or she will not get it. Does that help, Ralph?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me just go back to this box for a minute, this Dropbox. I've added two things today to Dropbox. This is the one that's on my computer. The one on the web is the same, identical. And if I go in here and make a change, okay, I'll give you an example. Let's go into Message Magic Training. I added the Q&A, Message Magic, and a Q&A Skype in here. Now let's just look at the Q&A Skype because I only have one on it. Because I put them in here because now I can add it. If I go on there and add it, it'll change it automatically online and on yours. For example, I just threw this one in. How do you change the font on your instant messages? Sign into Skype, and I got the directions right there. And you see I'm going to add plenty more. If I went in here right now and put, "Hi, Ralph," it would show "Hi, Ralph" on everybody's. So it's a quick and easy way for me to add all the information as I go onto, and it immediately would sync with this web and sync with yours. Now you take the Message Magic Q&A. I've done a little more on that. It's nowhere near where it's going to be, but I'll do some more every day that I can. Can I use my Message Magic license on more than one computer? And explains that answer. Do I have to leave my computer on with Skype running for my add contact request to be received? That sounds familiar. Skype is a peer-to-peer type product. The bottom line of what that means is Peer 1 and Peer 2 must both be online at the same time for the event to complete. Whether that event is a contact request, a text message, anything. If it is not able to complete it because one of the two are not online, then said event sits there in the sender's account as pending. Whenever you are logged into the Skype account, the Skype account will continuously scan through your pending events, checking to see if it can deliver to a recipient. If you're not logged into your account, then it does nothing. And so as long as you're logged into your account, it's looking to see if it can complete it. And what's it looking for? For them to be online. How do I use contact's first name in the message? How do I load the members of a specific Skype category into Message Magic? Step by step. How do I get the latest version of Skype? How do I create a new category in Skype? How do I add contacts to a category? How do I view an entire category? How do I remove a contact from Skype? What are some suggested categories to add in Skype? And there will be more. Plenty more. Those were just added this morning. So what I'm hoping is this helps you folks out. And as you ask questions on here, I will take these questions and I will put the answers in here. They may not be perfect. You might find spelling errors. We try to put something in there for everybody. Some people are just looking for errors, so I strategically place errors through everything I do, so that there's something for everybody. And if you believe that, I got some land underwater in Florida for sale. So anyway, I hope that helped, Ralph. But I knew that answer was in there, and to help with that. Any other questions we have written there?
Okay, in regards to Dropbox, caution that when people go to Dropbox, make sure they copy, paste, do not drag and drop files.
Absolutely. Good point, Phil. Thank you very much. You cannot drag and drop the file, because if you drag a file out of there, it will alter the web, and it'll alter everybody's, and people will know who altered it, and they'll come on and go, we're coming after you. Put that back on there. And so you do not drag and drop, because you see, for example, if you'll look back here on mine, you'll see John and Debbie private. Well, we have things going on in there that if she makes changes on it, it changes it on mine. And if I make changes, it changes it on hers. And that would happen with any of these that you do, and we do not want you doing that. Okay? You don't need to do that. All you need to do is take advantage of a quick way to get the training. Now, if you'll notice here, we have general training that was on the 12th and the 14th, and now we'll put, this one will go up here in a little while because it'll generate right after this. Then I have step-by-step how to add contacts. These are videos, step-by-step using patterns to search, and there'll be many more of those. So Phil's point is well taken. Copy and paste. Do not drag and drop. But you see, the funny thing is, if you download a Dropbox and everything, you'll have this right on your computer, and it'll sync with them, and you don't even need to download and drop, I don't believe, Phil, do you? Because if Debbie right now added that one to Debbie and John private, it would come right into this folder that's in my documents. See the path up here? Can you bring, is Phil got a microphone? I'd like to ask you that. Phil, will you come on and just chat with me for a minute? Debbie will unmute you. Are you there, Phil?
Hello.
Hi, Phil. You see, when
I'll tell you why I brought that up. So many times people run out of room in their Dropbox because they only have 2 gig, and they may have a lot of different, like especially video, it takes up a lot of room.
Sure.
And so they say, okay, I want to move those files over to a to another deal, and it may not be in here, it may be somewhere else. But anytime, if you're going to move the files or make a copy for yourself, maybe for a different computer or something, make sure you copy and paste. It's not necessarily so much, yes, you can open them right here, but if you make any changes or make any notes to yourself in that file, then you've altered it for everybody. So I recommend make a copy for yourself and just kind of keep up with it that way.
Yeah, and you're right, and so please, everybody, do not drag and drop. Always copy and paste. Very good point, Phil. Very good point. I'm up to, I think, the next step up from 3. I don't know how much it gives you every time somebody signs up, but
I think it's 250 megabytes.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think I'm up to either 3. I think I'm 3.5 or whatever, but it's improving as people sign up. And if I can get this up to 8, then we'll be able to continue to use this and put more on there. Now, I also have a place where I can put these and throw out a link. So what I'm thinking of doing is making that link a storage place where when I get way too much, well, I might just buy the 100 gig one and say the heck with it. It's not that much money. So one way or the other, but right for now, I'd like to get up to the 8 gig. But thank you for that, Phil. That's appreciated.
Oh, you're entirely welcome. The only other thing, Johnny, is if you put 8 gig in this folder and the other people in the folder, in the deal don't have that much room, you'll have to think about that one.
Well, yeah, but isn't the room on their computer, not on their Dropbox?
It's the Dropbox that's online is the one that fills up.
So the other person has to have an equal sized gig to capture everything?
Yes. Yeah, once they get up to, once you have this folder, you can, now the way to get around that is to, well, no, for one subject like Message Magic, I don't think you can, because once you get up to the 2 gig, if anybody does, if they don't have more than that in their folder, I think it locks them out. But you know, we may need to do some more checking. Now, let me check on that and get back to you, but I'm pretty sure
I
that
would really appreciate that, Phil.
I'll check on that and get back to you.
You see, because right here, you know, I have different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore, it's not just Message Magic training.
Right, but all of those combined are in that account
Would be in
online,
my
and
oh, they are? These aren't all in yours.
yes,
These wouldn't all be in yours.
no, they wouldn't be in mine. But if you filled that one folder up over the 2 gig, then
This one.
you would
Yeah.
then you would lock other people out of it. Now, if you've got other folders that you're using and sharing with other people, that's a combination of everything as far as up to your 8 gig or whatever.
Right, right. And I can also put up the link that I have to a site we have, my partner and I, and that is limited by our whatever we purchased with that company. So
what you may want to do, just a suggestion, Johnny, is take and use this for current, and maybe every once a month, maybe archive them and you know, allow people to have that link in an archive.
Well,
or
that's
something.
what I was thinking at some period of time, and I think you're absolutely right on that.
And that way, all the current things are right here where they're readily available, and
Yeah.
then anything over and above that could go.
Like when we're done with this month, the general training could all go into storage, and or you could let it go, and so at the end of May, I could put all of March's,
Yes.
or you know, the 2 months.
April,
Leave the previous month on there, and anything before that. So when we're 12 months down the road, the past month and the current month's on there, but the other 10 are in the storage link.
Sounds good, sir.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Well,
thank you, and I love this product.
yeah, I can't wait till we get by there'll always be people asking the basic questions. There's no problem with that. But there is a lot of things that can be done with this that can move it to another level. But I can't shove that down people's throats when they're new. Even though some of you guys
is there any way to maybe have an advanced class?
Yeah, because I've been praying that I get another 12, 15 hours in my day. And if the Lord answers me on that prayer and I get another 15 hours in my day, I'll start one of those right away. But that doesn't leave a lot of hope, does it? But anyway,
No, I understand.
there's so many things I'm trying to get done on the basic side of it. You see, because the more of this training I can get up there, like this step-by-step stuff, then a lot of that can be done. I mean, anybody can read those 2 right there and figure out those 2. I've made those so simple that even I understand them, and that's pretty bad. So
you did good.
They need to be simple, and they need to be short. But I'll bet you there's 20 more of those I'd like to have up there right now. And as soon as I get those up there, then I can move into some of this other stuff. Because you see, you people that are ready to move advanced can go to these things and look at them. I don't need to do a live. And then you can type me a question, and I can answer it in Q&A. And if there's a severe problem where somebody really has a problem, then they can contact me. So we'll work that all out. We will get to that stuff. The one thing I have to impress upon everybody is that when it comes to the technical part of it, as far as, well, I can't log in, or I just upgraded and it won't let me get back in. It says I can't have it on 2 computers, but I'm not trying to have it on, you know, that type of stuff, you got to go to Grant with that. Because Grant's the one that can get into the back office and make changes and move, do your license, do all that stuff. I can't do that. I don't have the access to your accounts, and so therefore, Grant's Skype is Webloot. Would you put that in there, please, Debbie, for me? WEBLOOT. So anyway, but he knows those answers. And I understand that some people are having, I had 2 people contact me today who are having a situation, and I'm going to see if I can read one of them here. It says the instructions were to uninstall. Now I can't get in far enough to find a clearly labeled button, okay? And what they were trying to do was install the latest version. And Grant put in here, you know, this person said, I did an uninstall, downloaded, opened, and asked for password. Says I only have it on one. I can only have it on one computer. I sent that to Grant, and he wrote back, and this will be in the Q&A. Please remind me, Debbie, so I don't forget it. If they're moving from 2011 or less to something higher, then they'll need to reset their license because we changed how licenses are dealt with. They can do that by going on the MM profile and clicking the clearly labeled button at the bottom of the screen. I think I'll change that to a big graphic so it's more obvious. What do you think? And my answer is absolutely yes. Make it a big button so people like me can find it. So let me make it a big button. I didn't see that question at the bottom of this thing, so I just answered it on my other computer. So that, I hope that helps, Phil, and I'm trying as fast as I can to get as much information up there as I can. That's the other reason I do 2 of these a week, is so that things can get put in here. And I will start doing some really short 5 or 10 minute pieces on these calls to throw in stuff like that. But I'm just worried that the brand new people that come on here get confused because I'm giving an advanced. I don't really at this time want to add another webinar because I'm on 2 to 3 and some days 4 webinars a day right now. Not all for this, obviously, but I'm learning something new myself, as you in particular know what I'm talking about. So.
Yep, I understand, and you're doing good. It's I agree. You need to pretty much keep these basic. My one other thought, Johnny, was just maybe 1 tip per session of something a little bit more advanced, unless that would just add more confusion.
Well, you see, one of the other things I could do is
maybe just some recordings and put them in the Dropbox.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. And in the meantime, if I know little things that I want to just throw in there, I could put Message Magic Advanced tips on a document.
Great idea.
So,
I'm going to have to run, but
well, thank you for your help. And this is the kind of participation I'd like from everybody on the call. This is designed to be an informal call where we help each other, and I try to get to where your questions are instead of a lecture. I'm really not looking to do a lecture here. And so this is what I want, right, what you're doing right now. Thank you.
All right. He says, thank you. Catch you later.
Okay, great. Anybody else have any questions, or are they being quiet?
No other questions at this time.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions they would like to ask? Please ask. I want to cover what you want covered. I strongly suggest you get onto this Dropbox because day and night, as I come up with stuff, Debbie and I are going to put it on here and make it available. And so it will update on yours just as quick as within minutes after I do it, even sometimes seconds it's done. And so it's very good. Anybody? Quiet group this morning. I'm glad that you got it all going. You don't need me. This is good. That's a good thing. I just wished it was the truth. I'm not going to belabor today if you don't have questions. Okay, we seem to have one. Go ahead, Deb.
This is Regina and Alvin. We are just coming in. You probably covered this. How do we fix our problem with registering our Message Magic?
Hi, guys. Yes, and I sent you a Skype with Grant's answer there, and I just went over it with everybody on here a few minutes ago. But you were one of 2 people that asked me that identical question. Did you see in your Skype the message I sent you? It was sent to you on today at 11:29. Well, that's my time. I don't know what your when it come out your time, but oh, yeah, I know what your time is. You're 2:29 your time. You're in Brooklyn. And if you don't get it fixed with that, you need to contact Grant directly and get him to fix it, because he can get into the back where he needs to do that. I have no access to that. And his Skype is Webloot, WEBLOOT. And I don't know if that'll be in your chat since you came in after she sent it out.
Okay, check. Oh, Phil wants you to check and see if he's been added to the Dropbox.
Well, I can find that out fast enough. And Alvin said they didn't get it through Skype. It's on Regina's Skype. Check Regina's, because it's right here. I'm seeing it right on my other computer that it was sent. But I'll put it on here in a moment. Let me just get this. I was going where?
To check to see if Phil is in your Dropbox.
All right, so in other words, I need to go to Dropbox right here. And
Is the folder Message Magic Training?
You what?
Phil, is the folder Message Magic Training?
The MM Training - John, I think.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think I can go here and somewhere find out who's in it. Do you know where I look? Well, I'll tell you right now, if any of you do not have this one shared yet, and you want it shared, give me your email right now, and I'll do it right this moment. Oh, here he is. Hold on a minute. I'm looking for Phil. No, so.
Yep, he's there. He's there. Right there. Up, up, up.
What did I go right by? Yeah, you're already there. You joined 5 days ago. Is there anybody on here who wants their email sent an invitation to share this folder? Tell me, type it right in there right now, and I'll put them right in here. Just tell me by typing it in the question box. All I need is your email.
Look on your list and see if they're all. Well, that takes too long, doesn't it?
Yeah, I got
They're not
16 that have accepted it so far. There's a bunch pending.
Teresa, George Steiner,
See this
Alvin
bunch?
and Regina,
Bunch here
Ralph
still
Miller,
waiting.
and Steve Robichaud.
What about them? Oh, up there, I see it, yeah.
Okay, Teresa Gunster wants it.
She's got it in there. Read it to me there, Deb, would you?
THERESA 78956 at yahoo.com.
Anybody else?
George Steiner is 19 George GEORGE 51 at gmail.com.
Anybody else?
And Phil wants you to resend it, so PHIL .KNAUS at gmail.com.
But it says he joined.
I know, he wants you to resend the link, though.
No problem. It's going to be on its way shortly. Anybody else? This is the quick way for me to get it done instead of having to go and find people. And,
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I guess. Nobody else is typing.
Last chance to go steady here.
Oh, wait. Alvin just typed it in.
Okay, Alvin.
Okay, it's Zenith, Zenith, Prosperity, PROSPERITY at gmail.com.
Anybody else?
I guess that's it. Going, going, gone.
Yeah, countdown from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
There it goes.
There he goes. All right.
Invited successfully. So there you go. All right. Are there any other questions for today's? Because I'm going to cut this one a little short because one of our webinars that I have to do, usually at 10 in the morning my time, is going to start at 1 o'clock, which is in 25 minutes. So it changed just for today, and so I have to be on that, so I don't want them to run into each other. Are there any other questions by anybody on here? Doesn't matter what the questions are regarding Skype or Message Magic.
No, it looks like not.
Well, then let's call it a call, get a little break, might even get something to eat before I start the next one. So if you need me, you know where my Skype is. You can Skype text me, you can email me, or you can come on Thursday nights. And some of you haven't registered for the Thursday night one. Just because you register for one does not mean that you have to go to it. It just sets you up with a link in order to do that. So with that, we'll call that a call. Will you, as soon as this is over, Debbie, would you get in touch with Catherine? Because she just came on and just explain what we went over and what's going on. Can you put me in the database? Yeah, let's, huh?
I'm not sure what that one means.
The database. Alvin, explain what you mean by that. We just sent you the link to get the Message Magic. All right.
Want me to open him up?
Oh, so you can get the emails. Yeah, we'll get that off the sheet that's printed out after this. And, yeah, I'll take care of it, Alvin. Okay. All right. So let's call it a call, and let's move on. Have a great afternoon. I got a busy one up in front of me, and I'm sure some of you do too. So we will get to it. Take care, and I'll talk to you very soon. Catherine, we'll get back to you. See ya. Bye-bye.